This is My Letter to the World. By Emily Dickinson. Context. This is My Letter to the World is a poem by Emily Dickinson that was published posthumously in 1891. It is believed to have been written in the 1860s, during a period of isolation and withdrawal from society for the poet. The poem is essentially a letter written by the speaker to the world, expressing her desire to connect with and be understood by others. The speaker begins by acknowledging the world as a recipient of her letter, even though she knows it cannot read or respond to it. She then describes her own isolation and loneliness, stating that she has never seen a moor, or never seen the sea, indicating that she feels cut off from the larger world. Despite this, she asserts her right to speak and be heard, saying, "Judge tenderly of me, and please sign your name." Quote. The poem can be read as an expression of the poet's desire to connect with others, even though she felt alienated from society. It also reflects her preoccupation with the themes of death and immortality, which are common in her work. Ultimately, the poem speaks to the universal human desire for connection and understanding, and the fear of being alone in the world. Stanza 01. This is my letter to the world. That never wrote to me. The simple news that nature told. With tender majesty. Explanation. The opening lines of Emily Dickinson's poem, This is My Letter to the World, immediately set up a sense of isolation and disconnection. The speaker addresses the world as if it were a person, but notes that it has never communicated with her in return. This highlights the speaker's sense of loneliness and lack of connection with others. The second line, that never wrote to me, further emphasizes the speaker's isolation, as it suggests that the world has never taken notice of her or cared enough to communicate with her. This line also creates a sense of asymmetry between the speaker and the world, as the speaker has taken the initiative to reach out, but the world has not reciprocated. The third line, the simple news that nature told, introduces the idea that the speaker finds solace and connection in nature. This line suggests that the speaker may feel more at home in the natural world than in the human-made world. The use of news also implies that nature has something important to communicate, and that the speaker is open to receiving its message. The final line of the stanza, with tender majesty, adds a sense of reverence and awe to the speaker's relationship with nature. Tender suggests that the speaker has a deep emotional connection to nature, while majesty connotes a sense of grandeur and power. Together, these words imply that the speaker views nature as a source of comfort and wisdom, and that it holds a special place in her heart. Overall, these lines set up a contrast between the speaker's sense of isolation from the human world and her connection to the natural world. They suggest that the speaker finds a sense of meaning and beauty in nature, even if the world has never acknowledged her existence. Stanza 02. Her message is committed to hands I cannot see. For love of her, sweet countrymen, judge tenderly of me. Explanation. In these lines of This is My Letter to the World, Emily Dickinson continues to convey her sense of isolation and disconnection, while also expressing a desire for her message to be heard and understood. The first line, her message is committed to hands I cannot see, suggests that the speaker has written something that is important to her, but that she is unsure if anyone will ever read it. The use of the word committed suggests that the message is of great importance, and the fact that it is being entrusted to hands that are unseen adds to the sense of uncertainty and isolation that permeates the poem. The second line, for love of her, sweet countrymen, implies that the message that the speaker has written is intended for a larger audience, specifically her fellow countrymen. This line suggests that the speaker has something to say that is relevant to the wider world, and that she is motivated by a sense of love and concern for her fellow citizens. The final line of the stanza, judge tenderly of me, reveals the speaker's anxiety about how her message will be received. By asking her readers to judge tenderly, the speaker acknowledges that her words may be met with criticism or misunderstanding. This line suggests that the speaker is aware of her own vulnerability and is hoping for a compassionate response from her readers. Taken together, these lines highlight the speaker's desire to connect with the wider world, even as she acknowledges her own isolation and uncertainty. The use of language such as committed and judge tenderly suggests that the speaker is aware of the weight of her message, and that she is hoping for a compassionate and understanding response from her readers.